What's up, YouTube? Just thought I'd make another video where I'm sharing a ride I took a few years ago when I had this bike. I found it in my videos, and I've been looking at motorcycles again. So I figured I'd show you this, man. This is cool. This is video footage that I had of me taking my Triumph Street Triple R to the Magic Cycle dealership here in Orlando. They have all of the European bikes like the Ducatis, the Triumphs, and this ride was early, like on a Saturday morning. I had an appointment to get my bike dropped off to do the first maintenance, and I remember it was rainy and a little cold and foggy outside, as you can tell. So this trip is a long trip, and I want to just share some thoughts that I had on my motorcycle. Alright, so we're getting close to the shop. I'm on my way there, and I'm about 5 or 10 minutes away. So I thought I'd stop here to kind of just share with you some background here in this video. So I had a bike when I was probably 22 years old. I went out and bought a Triumph TT600. It was a racing bike. And I just took it around to like local shops, like to the grocery store and to the mall, and run an errand. I was very careful with it because I knew that it was dangerous and it was something that I probably shouldn't be doing. So I really took special care to be extra safe with it. I went on a couple rides that, there were a few times where I was like, oh, I shouldn't be in this thing. But for the most part, it was something that I enjoyed. And so I sold that bike, and I think it was probably like 6 years later, I actually went out and bought a Honda CBR. I used to work out at about an hour away at the Cape, and I would take that car, or that motorcycle on Fridays, like every once in a while, and I would take it about an hour trip with no traffic, barely any traffic. And I really enjoyed the bike. It was a long ride to be on that kind of a bike because it was a racing bike. And but I've always loved racing bikes. I mean, racing bikes for me have been, what I grew up watching on the, on TV, and I just love the way they look. I love the helmets. I love everything about those kind of motorcycles. But the problem is they're not very ergonomic. They don't feel right when you're sitting on them, and you can't sit on them for a long time. It's just impossible. So this bike that you see here in the video is a Triumph Street Triple R, and this thing is something that I think it's a 600cc, right around 600cc bike, and I had purchased it back in 2011 or 12, and it was brand new from the dealership. And I paid a nice penny for it, and I loved this bike. But the bike had the same exact engine as the Daytona, and the Daytona is a racing bike, so pretty sure they're the same engines. And it was a fast bike, but it was really, really fun to ride because it was super torquey. So you can do, at low speeds, you can do some really fast, maneuvers and move around and whip around. It was really nice. And this is a road here that I was going down that, you can see I'm kind of just cruising through here. And yeah, so I'm also recording this on a drift camera that I had bought back then. And the microphone was a wire that you can put into your helmet, but it always sounded like crap. So I'm probably I have another video that I'm gonna put up here shortly that I had from back then, but you're gonna hear the sound. It wasn't very good. I'll do it in a future video. But I'm showing you guys this video because I'm looking at motorcycles again. And I know people say, oh, don't get a motorcycle, you're gonna get yourself killed, blah, blah, blah. It all depends on how you ride it and where you ride it. And if you're safe, then chances are you're gonna be just fine. And what I would do is I would take it out on Sunday mornings when there was little to no traffic. I would go down back roads. But it's a fun experience. I mean, I love it. It feels like you're meditating. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, you have to be careful. But man, I had a good time on that thing. And as you can see here, I was wearing my Alpine Stars jacket. It was neon, yellow, so people could see me. And I'm always looking at the roads left and right. You're always watching things, but you know, when you're cruising, you know, you're also at peace, man. The wind's hitting your face, and I just miss having a motorcycle, especially just for, you know, things to do like little short errands, or if you're going on a trip, you know, like just like I said, on Sunday mornings or something when it's low, you know, low traffic, you can do that. And going back to the bike here, so I was taking this bike to the Magic City. They call it Magic City Cycles here in Orlando, like I mentioned. And it has awesome bikes. I'm going to take you on a tour in this video and kind of show you around the bike shop. But I was taking it in for a tune-up, and my first tune-up on this bike. So I really didn't have it for that long, maybe a couple of years, and I would only ride it once in a blue moon. But man, it was an awesome bike. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm looking at. So actually, before I go there, let me just step back. So the Daytona is the bike that I really wanted to have. It's a super awesome bike, but like I said, it's not practical. You can't be in that bike for a long time. You're leaning super forward, and I'm no young, you know, spring chicken. So for me, it was something that I didn't really see myself. I didn't see it lasting, you know. So this bike was kind of like a step down in terms of like super crazy, you know, posture or whatever, and it wasn't as fast as that bike, but it was still super fast. It's a lot of bike, and I wouldn't consider myself a beginner by any means. You know, when I got this bike, I actually went back to school, just the class that they have for a week to go through and get a refresher, and that's with me already having two bikes. So it really solidified what I know about these things. They're still dangerous, you know, but you wanna make sure you know what you're doing, and you're comfortable with the bike, and you're comfortable. So I always tell people, man, if you're gonna start riding, just start really slow. Go down roads that have no traffic, little to no traffic, and just start off super slow. Get comfortable with the bike. Make really, 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 really tight turns at slow speeds. You know, and just get used to everything. Make sure everything's set up and configured to your, you know, your height and your length and everything, and you're off. But this bike was awesome, and I loved it, and I would highly recommend it. I think it was a 2013. Yeah, it was a 2013 Triumph TT, or not TT. I keep saying TT. TT is the first bike I ever had. It's a Street Triple R, and it was black and red. It was badass. You'll see it in a little bit when I get off. But yeah. So the bike I'm looking at now is a different bike. I'm actually going to show you it in this video because it's a 2013, and now it's 2017, right? So, and so I'm looking at this bike that is just a little bit more. It's classic, you know. It's a different type of bike. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward and show you that, and then we'll go and take a look. Alright, so I'm just pulling up here to the Triumph dealership and just going to check out this this maintenance shop. I want to walk you through this badass Ducati sign there. This place had all the cool bikes. I mean, I really like this store. It's pretty far though. It's a good 40 minutes from my house, 35 to 40 minutes, give or take traffic. But I'm gonna get off here and, you know, just take some gear off and just walk in here and get this maintenance taken care of. So, you know, legs always get hot and crampy when you're in this stuff, but you gotta readjust, man. You gotta readjust. So this is the bike, you know. Some guy coming in with some tires, probably getting some new tires put on or delivering them. But yeah, so I want to show you guys this bike a little bit. Hopefully you could see it here. It's like I said, black and red, and it was a cool bike. I really enjoyed it. It was cool. I love that bike. So just messing around with my drift camera here, trying to probably shut it off. But we'll get back to the store in a sec. All right, so we're in the store here, and me being the stupid person that I am, I put the camera on and just left it on my helmet and walked around with my helmet on the store. People were probably looking at me like I was nuts, but making sure it was turned on. And I'm actually in the back shop here, which I don't even know if I'm supposed to be in there, but I'm gonna walk around and check out some of these bikes, see what they got going here. Alright, so I got my helmet on, looking around. This guy's getting back on his bike. That looks like a Bonneville, Triumph Bonneville if I had to guess. And there's a lot of bikes here we're going to see. So we're going to go through all this stuff here. I'm just watching this guy.
That's a Triumph.
And going to walk around, check it out. See, that guy's having a good time.
There's a Daytona.
There's a Daytona over there, a white one. We're going to look at that in a sec. See, that bike's good because you have the saddlebags on the side. And one thing that when you have a bike and you need to go run chores, or you have any, if you're picking up some food or anything, you have nowhere to put it. I usually bring a backpack with me. There are those BMW cops, man. Those sheriff bikes are awesome. They bring them there to get them maintained. So that whole lot that you see there are either bikes that are getting, in the shop, putting in the shop, or they're
pretty cool.
Or on the other side at the end there's some other used bikes for sale. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of good fun happening here, and I'm gonna walk around this store and check this place out.
Looks like a pretty cool shit. What's in that silver can there? I said, what's in that silver can there?
Just parts cleaner.
Parts cleaner. And in that other thing you had over here? That little...
That's just a different type of, more like a oil-based.
Oil-based part cleaner? Okay.
All right, so I asked that guy that question. He was like, what the hell are you asking me? I'm trying to work here, buddy. Leave me alone. So I'm just talking over this now, so I might talk as I was before in the background, but these are all Ducatis here. Hefty price tags. These things are really, really expensive. But, they're European bikes. That's a beautiful bike right there. That's the kind of bike that I always wanted to have. But when you sit on those bikes, you look at the seat right there. They have no padding on the seat. They're just not comfortable at all. They're meant for somebody that does not either has a huge ass and can actually deal with no padding, or somebody that, is going to go on a quick trip and, just deal with the pain. Because sitting on a bike like that for too long, you do not want to do that. And you're just not going to be happy. So just sitting on this red one here. I like red. Red is a color that I always like for a fast car. And this shop's pretty dope. So they have the Ducatis on that side, and then as you walk in a little bit further, you have all sorts of different bikes, but then you have you have more Ducatis, and then you have Triumph in this middle section here. That's an accessories and parts area, plus you have some gear on that side, some of the jackets. I bought one of those jackets, or they gave me one when I bought my bike. I think this is a Triumph Tiger right there, that green one. And as you look through, you're going to actually see, I'm going to show you my bike on here when we get to it. So keep keep patient here. And I know it's a long vid, guys. If you guys are still around, I appreciate it. This is something that I've had for years, and I never put on YouTube, so I figured I'd share it with you guys, something different. I'm still doing all the football stuff. I'm still making the game, still working on APF at times and the other modding stuff that I do. So simulation football, sim sports, all that stuff. So my channel's still the same. I'm just gonna throw some things on here, and I'll tell you what, if I get a new bike, you will be seeing me do some vlogging, no doubt. So these are some of the Triumphs, man. These are the classic Triumphs here. That's probably a Bonneville right there I'm looking at. They have all sorts of different ones. The Ducatis are there on the top, that top row right there. And then, and those are cool bikes. Definitely cool. So the bike that I actually am looking at right now is coming up on the right there. You can see it right there. So this bike is going to be something that I'm really going to take a look at. I have never driven it. That's obviously my bike, the Daytona, all back to back. And I'm probably going to turn around here and show you that Street Triple R from this angle again. So that's the Daytona. I love this bike. This is the bike that I always wanted to get, but never had the balls to pull the trigger because, like the things I mentioned, for all the reasons I mentioned. And then, but hey, and when you're not rich, you can't just buy anything you want, But there's my bike, the new one that I want to get. I'm already saying my bike. That's the one I want. I just got to find a way to, check it out. I don't think they sell Triumphs at this store anymore from what I looked last night, so we'll see. But there's one used, and I reached out, so I'm waiting to hear back. But I may go there, and the bike may just not be, to my liking, and I won't even think about it. Problem is that I sold all my helmets. I sold my 2 helmets. I had some bad helmets. I had an Arai helmet and a Shoei helmet, and those were really expensive helmets, but they were super high quality, and when you're in them, you just feel the difference when you're riding in those. The one I'm wearing in this video is a Shoei red. I think it's a RF 1200 for those of you guys who actually care about this stuff. So I'm gonna walk past the classics again real quick, and I want to show you guys. Try to zoom in here and show you guys this bike. It's the green one right there. That's the Triumph 2013. I'll spin around. I'll show you again. But the 2013 Triumph Thruxton, I think it's called. I just passed it because I didn't really care about those bikes back then. This whole section over here is the BMW section, and I didn't even ask if I could use this camera here. I was just using it, so hopefully they don't care. But yeah, I was checking it out, and showing some cool bikes here. These bikes are all really nice bikes. So I'm pretty much just checking out gear that I know that I can't afford or definitely don't want to spend the money on. I mean, those boots are super expensive. And yeah, so this is a tour of, just the store that I used to go to, the bike that I used to have. And like I said, I just wanted to share the video because I've had it in the archives. And, we'll see what happens with this bike. If I do pick it up, that's me looking in the mirror at myself like a dummy. if I pick it up, then like I said, you'll see more of these in my rotation. No doubt about that. There's this guy here on his computer. I think his dad owned the place. He was he sold me he was one of the guys who did the financing when I bought my bike. But yeah, so my bike was getting done. It was cool to get the maintenance done there. There's the bike that I'm looking at again. But that's it. People watching dirt bike races, the accessory shop. That's a cool Triumph wallpaper. Those are all the helmets. The helmets are just something that's just cool. I love it. And yeah, just buying on this store here, checking it out. I'm going to go back to my bike, make sure things are being done the way they should have been taken care of. And I don't know a thing about maintaining bikes, but these guys do. That's why I took it here. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. I know it's a long video. Cut through it if you want. Break it up into pieces, but yeah. Until next time, thanks for watching, and peace.